my beloved JMC students, a case study interview is almost 180-degree opposites of a normal interview. In a normal interview, you are going to be asked a question which is very straightforward, so you are supposed to give a brilliant answer. A case study interview, my beloved kids, is 180-degree opposite, where for the first 30% of the interview duration, you are being evaluated on the brilliance of your questions. What kind of astute, sagacious, perspicacious questions you ask is going to be referring as a vital point on your ability in the eyes of the interviewer. Like this pyramid, there are 5 levels of a 30-minute case study interview. Q, U, E, S, T. But if you fail to ask the right kind of questions in the first 30%, there is a high probability that you may not get selected to the next round, which is happening seamlessly in the same interview. So how does this happen? Please allow me to demonstrate a mock case study interview which happened with one of my students at one of the big 3 consulting firms. So let's start the interview as follows, the way it actually happened. The interviewer says, okay, hello, please welcome and have a seat over here. Let me give you a short case. Sure, sir. Happy to discuss that. Ready to start. Okay. So the case question for you is, the owner of the company is very upset. You are a big 3 consultant. So he's come to you asking your consulting and advice to solve a complicated problem. Sure, sir. What is the problem? So the problem is that his company has been having month-on-month decline in sales and profit. And the situation is so bad that this month they may not even break even. So the owner is really anxious. And this morning he invited 4 of his presidents. And unfortunately, all the presidents gave him very different advice. He asked all of them one question, that what should we do to grow the prospects of our company? The president of operations, which is production, said, sir, let us put up one more bale factory and we can make a lot of money. The president of human resource said, sir, let us hire more people in this factory and we can really prosper. The president of marketing said, sir, please fire all the people and let us hire more agents and we'll be profitable. And the president of finance said, sir, there is no prospect here. Please sell off the factory and we are better that way. Owner is now very angry and he has come to you to ask your advice. So please tell me, how will you take this case forward? How will you have the discussion with him? In such a complicated case situation, the biggest challenge is that the problem itself is not clear. We are not clear. What is the problem? Is it production problem? Is it marketing problem? Is it human resource problem? Or is it selling or distribution problem? The first biblical Angraj, Karan, Kavach and Kundal for every case study interview is, sure sir, happy to have this discussion. However sir, may I just structure my thoughts? Can I just have a minute? And take that 1 minute to think it through. And after that you come to the first round, which is Q for questions. The questions are extremely vital because you can't ask too many. They shouldn't be imprudent, impertinent in the context of being irrelevant from that talk. So they are evaluating you on how relevant questions you are asking. So the moment you start speaking, sure sir, I'm ready to discuss this. Sir, however, I have a few questions. May I ask them now? And he'd say, sure, beta, go ahead. Here, use something called the quick framework for 5 types of questions. This case which I've given is a corporate strategy case. So most likely BCG, McKinsey, Bain would give you these kind of corporate strategy cases to test your diagnostic abilities. So the quick framework for question is Q for quality. Sir, is there some quality problem because of which the sale is declining? Is there something wrong with your product quality or the market has rejected the quality level or has the market level significantly gone up? And the answer comes, no, that's not the problem. Then U is for something which is unrest. Unrest in labor, unrest in supply chain. That because of coronavirus, your cargo is stopped coming, so now your cargo is not coming, so your sales is declining. So you ask, sir, may I ask, then is the reason for this decline in sales because the labor problem is there, some strike is there because of which you are not getting enough cargo? No, that's not the problem also. Then I is the most important industrial context. Sir, may I ask, is this problem happening only with your company or is it across the industry? Industry trend? Is the industry having cyclicity or seasonality? No, that's not the case. Then the 4th C is about competition, the competitive forces. So, may I ask that suddenly the competition has intensified and your company is facing severe competition? Yes, that's the correct question. So actually my company is facing serious problem Because we were making shirts for corporate professionals, pricing them in the lower to medium category of about 700 rupees per shirt. 50% of our market was coming from South India. Now, unfortunately, two new players have come in South India. One is a big, rich Srinivasan family, big conglomerate of Chennai. Second is a group of 7 IIT Kharagpur young serial entrepreneurs who have started a startup on making these kind of mid-level executive shirts. So South is the biggest growing market, where we have almost 50% share, and unfortunately, the competitive forces in South have increased because of these two new players, and they are eating our share. So sir, may I ask, why are they eating your share? So our selling price was in the range of 500 to 700, but these two new players are waging a price war. They are selling the same shirts at 300 rupees. So because their shirts are at 300, so middle level executives are happy to buy their shirt. So sir, may I ask, are you not able to sell it at 300 rupees from your side? No. Our plant is located at Ludhiana, the erstwhile textile capital of our country. So the problem is, our plant is now in the very congested portion of Ludhiana, so we cannot increase our capacity anymore. So our economies of scale and logistic cost from Ludhiana all the way to Chennai do not allow us to go below 500. That's almost a break-even level if we are selling from Ludhiana. So sir, then in that case, may I understand that basically it's about competitive forces? Also sir, may I try to understand the last K? K is a knockout factor. Knockout factor is industry-related restrictions, that either the entire industry is wiped out, just like cassettes, tape recorders got wiped out because of iPod. So sir, is there any other knockout factor which I should keep in mind? No, there is no other knockout factor. This is our biggest headache. Now, after about 7 to 8 minutes of discussion, you have asked the right sequence of questions. Q for quality problem. U for unrest in labor on supply chain. I for industry level issues like cyclical industry, seasonal energy. Then C for competition forces. K for knockout factors. So you have shown to the consultant your astute competency to have a sagacious interpretation of complicated situation. And we move to level 2, which is you. Now the consultant will ask you, so may I ask you to summarize what have you understood till now? And in the understanding part, you have to use, which is called the Brahmastra of case studies. Ladies and gentlemen, the model of SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. Sure sir, I'm happy to summarize my understanding. Although sir, I'll reconfirm with you, so please correct me if I'm wrong somewhere. So sir, I have drawn this SWOT analysis of this company. Based on our discussion, I can understand the strength of this company is good quality. Am I okay to take that assumption? Sure, beta, go ahead. Also, sir, the company has a good brand. Am I okay to take that assumption? Yes, it has a great brand reputation. 700 rupees, middle class corporate executive shirt, none better than them. Also, sir, am I fair to assume that they have a strong distribution network? Yes, bacha, they have a good distribution network in relatively elitist malls, where the Chennai, Karnataka or Kerala-based professionals go to buy their middle-class professional shirts. So they have more than 1,000 distribution outlets where their shirts are being sold as far as South India is concerned. Now, once you have understood this, you have made a writing note over there that the strength of this company is their quality, their brand, and their distribution. Next, the consultant will ask, what have you made out in terms of their weakness? In terms of weakness, the biggest weakness is the capacity limitation at Ludhiana factory. Another weakness is lack of cost competitiveness. They can't compete with a product who's having a similar offering. And then the third weakness is the logistic cost disadvantage from Ludhiana all the way to South India. So if we summarize this, they have technology leadership, they have market leadership, but they don't have cost leadership, which becomes their weakness. Now we move to the lower end of the quadrant. What are the opportunities and what are the threats? The opportunity is radically exponentially booming South India market. The opportunity is the growth in the middle class executives who are working in the corporates. Therefore, they are in a sector seeing a great burgeoning of the growth. What is the threat? The threat is a young group of 7 IIT Kharagpur engineers who have set up a small startup to make shirts. Their threat is a rich Srinivasan family of Chennai has entered into the same business. And their threat is these people are launching price war. This, my beloved students, constitutes the you. Your understanding of the case study by having understood the concept and then distilled it in a very condensed 7-minute interview from very disparate, loose-ended, quick framework questions into the biblical Brahmastra of SWOT analysis to understand. Once you have understood it, the consultant will say, very good, really appreciate. Now, let us evaluate. And you come to the third stage, which is E for evaluation. In E for evaluation, it is important to make a simple table. And the table is something like this. A 3x3 concept. In any case study interview, always give 3 options. These options have to be consultatively evolved together with the consultant. And in this particular case, there are some options to regain that stake in South India. Option 1 is that sell that Ludhiana factory which is in a congested zone and somewhere in North India where you have good political clout, good labor management relationship with trade unions, either in Punjab, Haryana, set up a bigger plant to assume economies of scale. So option 1 is set new plant at North India. Option 2, which students generally miss and it's very important, is acquire. Make an offer to the 7 IIT Kharagpur engineer that we will buy out your company. So acquire your competitor. Specifically in Bain, the angle of mergers and acquisitions is something where a student's ability to discern the complicated patterns plays a big role. You cannot acquire the Srinivasan family company because Srinivasan company is already a 20,000 crore conglomerate. But you can acquire and buy out the 7 IIT Kharagpur students who have started this shirt making company. And finally, the international trade global thinking perspective. Which country makes the cheapest decent quality shirts in the world? That country is China. So almost for any kind of consumer durable or consumption related product, importing from China, Thailand, or a country which has a cost advantage becomes another thing. Because if you will draw the geographical location, you should all know it's far more costlier to send by truck from Ludhiana to Chennai as compared to getting it by ocean ship from, say, Shanghai to Chennai port. This kind of commonsensical information may not have been exposed to you guys while you are at the college. However, it's a very vital test of your discretionary judgment. So the third option is import from overseas. Now, the next thing comes that how do you evaluate these 3 options? The evaluation criteria has to be given to you by the consultant. So you have to ask, sir, these are the 3 options coming to my mind. We could sell off the congested Ludhiana plant and set up a big plant somewhere in the same location where trade union relations are in our control, police permissions, political permissions are also in our control. The second option is that we could acquire the 7 IIT Kharagpur students' company. The third option is import from China. However, sir, may I ask, are there some constraints? And then the consultant will answer, yeah, there are 3 constraints. Okay, sir, may I ask, sir, what are the constraints for this owner? The first constraint is he's tight on cash flow right now. So any option that you suggest should not have heavy cash flow. Second is quality of product should not be compromised because they have a name in middle class corporate shirts, so their quality should not be compromised. And the third is that no cannibalization of their existing high product market. Just because you're selling a cheap shirt at 300 rupees, it should not cannibalize your market in North India, where your existing brand value crashes. So you write it down beautifully, not like my not so clean handwriting, but in a beautiful handwriting, because they will ask you to take a screenshot if it's online. Otherwise, they'll ask you to hand over the sheet of paper. So the 3 restrictive criteria is no investment right now. The owner doesn't have money. Number 2, quality cannot be compromised. And number 3, no cannibalization. So now you are in the perfect stage of E for evaluation. So if we compare option 1 to set up a new plant, do we need investment? Yes, we do. So you put in front of the consultant a cross over here that this is not a good idea. Acquisition, will it need money? Yes, it will. So cross. Importing from China. Do you need to invest anything? No, because Chinese factory is already there. So you mark a double circle over here that this is a good option as far as criteria 1 is concerned. Criteria 2, quality. Set up a new plant, perfect, you can control the quality. Acquisition, so-so. China will circle or triangle, which means this circle means 4 marks, this means 3 marks. Then comes the risk of cannibalization. Risk of cannibalization is of course in all the options your own decision. That in Chennai market, if you want to start entering at a slightly lower price, you will have to create something which is called auxiliary brand. If your existing brand name is, let us say, Alpha Country Shirts, and you're selling it at 700 rupees, you will have to launch an auxiliary brand which may be inferior, like the ITC hotel strategy, ITC luxury collection, your ITC Gardenia, Grand Maratha, ITC Maurya. Then come down, Fortune series, then Welcome Hotel, so then Heritage. So you launch the very vital concept in corporate strategy called auxiliary brand. You don't want your Alpha Country shirts to get besmirched as a lower price shirt. What happened to DCM Cielo when you girls were not yet born is a classical example. DCM Cielo was 6.5 lakh rupees then in 1996 when I was still studying at IIM Ahmedabad. But because of various reasons, economic slowdown, the Korean management decided to slash the price from 6.5 lakh to about 4 lakhs. It destroyed the reputation of DCM Cielo. So a correct case consulting option here is auxiliary brand. So of course all options, this is your option. You decide the price, you control the price. So you have 3 options, and then in consultation with your interviewer, you evolve which is the best option. And that is where you come to the next part, which is strategic solution. There are various matrices you can use, 2x2 matrix. I have given you a 3x3 table. There is something called solution, can be as follows. Sir, we have understood that this company doesn't have enough finances to set up a new factory right now. So they cannot acquire also. Therefore, the logical option is to import from China, which is going to provide good quality shirts at much economical price. However, they must create an auxiliary brand so that their own brand of Alpha County shirt doesn't get cannibalized. And number 3, sir, they would have to set up a small quality desk in the factory of the Chinese manufacturer so that every shirt which is shipped out from China is stamped for acceptable quality of your level. And the auxiliary brand can be then probably titled Beta Country Shirts. And finally, sir, I'd also like to suggest that as time passes, if the company has enough of capital, then they could go and set up a factory at Chennai at that stage. Or maybe, sir, one step further, I will recommend them to set somewhere at port area like Ernakulam port, about 40 kilometers north of Chennai, because then you could have the export market. In most corporate strategy interviews, factors like branding, logistic advantage, economies of scale, export, cost cutting, labor union crisis solved by heavy automation. These kind of unthinkable elements, can you introduce or not, is the vital facet where you are evaluating. Now here we come to the last stage, which is T. T is timetable and threats. No case study interview is over till you tell the threats in your action plan. So the biggest threat in importing from China are 2. First is the knockout threat. Just like Modi government banned 40 odd products from China overnight, who knows, NDA government may comprehensively prohibit import from China. So you have to tell this to the consultant, sir, in this option, may I also insert a caveat? And the crucial caveat is the risk of import being prohibited from China. Therefore, sir, when we develop a desk at a Chinese factory, we should also have another option from Thailand, because Thailand is also a low quality textile importing destination. So this is your ability to insert threats, finding loopholes in your own strategy, because no strategy is such that it's absolutely a silver bullet, a panacea. Your ability to find the weaknesses in your own argument shows them your ingenious perspicacity. And then another threat which you want to say over here is that the Chinese company may betray you. So sign a legal agreement, but be prepared that today you are offering to buy their shirts at 150. Tomorrow China person could be selling the same shirt to the IIT Kharagpur guy, to the Srinivasan family. So that risk also remains. Therefore, China is only an intermediary solution for 2 years till you don't have a capital. Once you have accumulated enough capital and come back, then please set up the option of a factory right there in Chennai. So I would like to propose the timetable. So the last T is also timetable. So sir, this company should do 5 important steps. Step 1, visit 2-3 manufacturers in China and 2-3 in Thailand and choose one each over there. Step 2, have a quality agreement where quality benchmarks are decided and launch a pilot project in any one city. Maybe do that in a small city like Ernakulam or Trichy to see the viability. Number 3, hire professional engineers who will be responsible for quality audit before every shirt is shipped out. Number 4, design an auxiliary brand management strategy where you launch a new brand called Beta County Shirts, which will be priced, let's say, at 350 rupees, so that this brand doesn't cannibalize your existing 700 rupees shirt market. And finally, sir, start having a long-term feasibility study that 2 years from now, you will set up your own factory to capture the South India market. So this is my analysis for the case. Oh, very good analysis. Thank you so much, Bacha. So now let's go back to the first sentence. Who of the 4 presidents was right? Can you give your own thoughts on that? Sure, sir. Sir, now I have understood the whole case. So I believe all 4 were right. But like the elephant and the blind man's story, the blind man who touched the trunk said it's a rope. The blind man who touched the ear said it's a curtain. The blind man who touched the leg said it's a pillar. Similarly, sir, all 4 of them were right. When the operations guy was saying that let us open a new factory in Chennai, he was right because from his perspective, setting up a factory in Chennai is a good idea to be competitive over there. When the marketing person was saying that fire some people here, hire there, he was right because he's wanting to have more intense market penetration to provide higher level of service, higher level of visibility. When the HR person was saying hire 1,000 more people here, he was right because he wanted to have a higher productivity because you can't increase the land, but maybe you can create a 2nd floor, 3rd floor and produce more over here. And the finance guy was also right because when he told you to sell off the factory, it meant that start importing from China, Thailand, because importing from there is going to be far more competitive, and use that capital generated from selling the Ludhiana factory to set up an economies of scale, large plant somewhere in Chennai. So sir, the consultancy problem here is that I believe all the 4 presidents are seeing the problem from their own parochial perspective in the silos that they are confined to. So my strategic lesson and advice to the owner would also be to encourage deeper cross-functional thinking, and which is where our company BCG, Bain, McKinsey can be a perfect advisor. So these are my thoughts, sir, and this is my analysis. I hope this satisfies your query. And in this way, the case consulting interview got concluded, and it was a more stress-oriented interview where many questions are asked. Why are you asking this question? What is the relevance of this question? So whenever you ask any question, be prepared. The consultant will ask you, why are you asking this question? What is the relevance of this question? However, stick to your guns with great deference, an attitude of alacrity, and something which is called nervous nuances. The concept of nervous nuances essentially implies that during that period, we demonstrate great humility, but also a certain amount of astute firmness in what we are saying. So with that, we will end this module and we will summarize the 5 steps to ace consulting interviews, which are Q for ask sagacious questions in the right sequential order, because during the first 30%, it's all about diagnostic ability. You asking the right questions, which is completely opposite to an interview where you are answering. Then summarize your understanding, and one biblical Brahmastra is SWOT model, where you analyze the corporate strategy cases. Then you evaluate. There are various tools, but I have given you one 3x3, 3 options and 3 criteria of evaluation. This table could be your lifeline, your oxygen concentrator over there. Then move to a strategic structure of what has to be done in a manner that you encompass all the variables. And finally, P, give the timeline and give the threat factors. Thank you so much. God